Good morning and welcome to Sports Desk live on Comcast Channel 26, also streamed on Facebook. I'm your host, Ed Nunez, along with producer Alden Iwani. Our special guest today, Nicco Tapia, the son of legendary Johnny Tapia, and along with his trainer, Jayla Ortiz. And welcome to both of you. Thanks for being on the show.
Thank you.
Hi, guys.
Today, we're going to, this weekend, June 17th, Tapia Promotions has a big boxing card, and we're going to get to all the matchups. Nicco, you're actually going to face off against Logan McMash at 140 pounds. And there's other fights we're going to get to too. But tell us, and we'll get to Jayla here in a second, how your preparation has been going for Logan McMash. What do you know about him, and what do you think about this weekend's the fight against Logan McMash?
I know that he's a righty and he's pretty tall because I've seen some pictures of him. So we've been preparing for me to fight a righty, so that's good. I was hoping he wasn't a lefty because this whole training camp, we've been preparing to fight a righty, in a sense. And I've been training good, been running, everything's been good. I'm excited to.
You're a 1-0 in your career. You had one. It's a very young career. And you mentioned the training and fighting a southpaw. And Jayla Ortiz, I want to talk to you about that a little bit. Fighting a southpaw is a little bit different, right? They come from different angles. It's a whole different thing fighting a lefty. What have you seen with Logan McMash in your preparation and getting Nicco Tapia ready for this weekend's fight?
I could say this weekend, I just kind of saying that I feel sorry for Logan, honestly. Well, with Nicco being a southpaw, I don't think it changes much, but the preparation that we've been preparing for, Nicco's going to do really good. He has a really awesome style, and he's going to give it to him, guaranteed.
You know what? Hype it up. Hype it up. I like that because you said that, and this show is going to go out, right? And you know what? Respect for any opponent in the ring, right? Jayla, respect for anybody. Because anybody that laces them up has put in time, has put in training, right? And Nicco's very young in his career, but I like that. I like that. And have you seen, if we able to obtain any tape on Logan McMash and see anything about him? So it's tough sometimes to get tape on young fighters. I don't know if he's had any professional fights himself, but were you able to get any tape or look at Logan McMash?
I was able to get a few things. So, that's what I'm saying. I feel sorry for him. I do respect him as a fighter for getting in the ring, but I know how hard Nicco and these guys have been training. I've been preparing them to get in there and really get at it and show their talent. These guys are all talented. I don't know much about Logan, but I do know that Nicco and our team's going to do really good this weekend.
I like to hear that. I think we like to hear that, and that's one of the reasons we're having you on is to promote the fight. Your mother, Teresa, Nicco, does an amazing job, right, in promoting these cards and fights. I think this is her third fight since the pandemic. Is this her third one she's promoted?
Yeah, it is.
Okay, talk a little bit about that. Your mom couldn't be on with us today, but your mom, of course, the wife of the legendary late Johnny Tapia, Albuquerque's champ, man, right? That's Albuquerque's champ. Your mother has had to work very hard in this business. You mentioned, I'll tell you a story, and I'm sure you already know it, in a little bit about your mom. A woman being in the boxing promoting business isn't always easy, but I'll tell you what, man, your mom has learned quite a bit and probably taught some people along the way as well. So talk a little bit about how your mom is, the work she's had to put in, and it's not easy, right? In promoting the card, people don't understand. You got to get opponents. That guy backed out. This person backed out. Got to get another opponent. Talk a little bit about your mom, Teresa, who's an amazing woman, amazing promoter, amazing person. Talk a little bit about her.
All right, so I want to start off by she's the best mother out. My mom does so much for me. It's not okay. But yeah, promoting fights, these past 3 fights, she's always busy. I always see her on the phone. She's always doing something, always trying to think of different things to do for the fights. Always trying to get my brother fought the first fight she promoted since the pandemic. And then the second fight, me and my brother fought. And then this time it's gonna be me, my cousin, and then I brought one of my friends to fight with us. That's who we're all training.
Now, your brother Johnny Lorenzo Tapia Jr. won't be on this card, right? He won't be on this one.
No, he won't be fighting.
Okay, so but we expect to see him probably on the next Tapia Promotions card, right?
Yeah, hopefully.
Okay, so that's always good to know. Talk a little bit about this too. You know, we're going to ask you about this. Your father, the legendary champion here, a member of the Albuquerque Sports Hall of Fame, and also the International Boxing Hall of Fame. You know, he's a great champion from Albuquerque. There's some pictures we'll get to in the second part of our show, but you were able to watch a lot of film on him. We asked you this a couple years ago when I had you on the radio on 99.9 FM. What kind of influence has he had on your career? And again, you know what? The name itself, right? Your mom mentioned this to me. The name itself, Nicco Tapia, Johnny Lorenzo Tapia, people see that and they want to attack and they want to beat you even more, right? So talk a little bit about that, your dad's influence on your career. And, you know, have you had to gear yourself up? Because Jayla, I'm sorry, mentioned Logan McMash is in trouble on Saturday. Now, Logan McMash sees your name and says, everyone knows you're Johnny Tapia's son. Talk a little bit about that, about how that name is good. But then again, you've got to prep even harder because the name itself, right? People expect a lot out of the last name Tapia.
Yeah, it's like how you said, like, people expect like a lot out of me, and like, you know, like people want to beat on it because like it's like, you know, the name I carry, but it's just it just pushes me even more, you know, to work harder, to strive for what I want, and that's boxing.
And, yeah, go ahead, keep going.
No, it's like, yeah, that was it.
No, you know what's up. What did you take out of watching, you know, tape of your dad was an incredible champion right now. I used to say that I'd watch him right in the center of the ring. He'd take those punches, beat his chest, and almost like he liked it, right? Now, your dad was a different fighter, right? He's going to take some punishment. He's going to give some too. He's a great defensive fighter, right? He had some great head movement. What have you taken out of him? Again, you can only be Nicco Tapia. Your brother can only be who he is. You know, again, it's hard to live up to that name sometimes. But what have you taken out of watching your dad on film and tape? What did you take out and incorporate in your game?
Footwork is probably one up there, and just everything, his style, just how he moved, like everything, you know, like it's like I don't know, like, you know, like it just all works together, you know, and like it's just like
I see defense, a lot of his defense I see in Nicco. That's what I see, like that he's carried on from Johnny, and this guy will throws in bunches as well. So the minute this guy Nicco gets hit, he's throwing right back, and he's giving them hard. So that's why I say, like, this style is a style of it's hard to describe. You're gonna have to watch Nicco. He does have a different style, unique style. So when he gets in there, he's a southpaw, and maybe that's what makes it beautiful. But it is a beautiful style. I kind of see Nicco as, I don't know. I couldn't really say he's like a Casanova. He's really quiet, but once he gets in there, it's on. So it's a beautiful style. You guys are gonna see, and all that's gonna happen from here on out, it's gonna be perfected.
How long have you been training him, Jayla? How long have you been working with Nicco? How long have you been working with him?
It's been around 4 months now that we've been training.
What have you seen an improvement on, and as far as his because 4 months is a long time, and sometimes you have to take a fighter and adapt him to the style that you want and the style that he's comfortable with, right? You have to do that. What have you seen improvement on in the 4 months that you've worked with him? Is there anything, without giving away any game plan, and Logan McMash, is there anything that you've asked him to work on and that he's improved on? And 4 months, again, is a long time. It's a lot of road work, a lot of dieting, a lot of different things that fighters have to go through, right? Everyone has a plan until they get punched in the face. That's what Mike Tyson would say, right? So is there anything in particular that Nicco has improved on that you've seen in 4 months that you've had to say, hey, look, we're going to take this down from A to Z, and I want you to improve on this? Has there been any areas that you've seen real improvement on?
Like I said, he has a unique style. I mean, and with that style, I didn't want to take it away from what he already had. I just want to perfect it, like I said, like, and you guys are gonna see the style he's carrying now that when he's in there fighting. So we've perfected, like we're perfecting that. Like I said, this is gonna be his second fight. So, I mean, he's still starting off. So just, I mean, in the next couple of fights, you'll see like a whole different, like it's gonna be improved, like big time. But from this camp, I could say that it's improved, and his style just it's beautiful. That's all I can say. So when you get in there, everybody needs to get in there and check this guy out.
Nicco, last couple of days before the fight, right? Now you're going to get the weigh-in tomorrow on Thursday, and then you weigh in, and then you get to hydrate, and you're hydrating right now. You're drinking your water. Talk a little bit about your preparation as far, and people that don't box, right? Everyone thinks I put the gloves on a couple times, and like I said, somebody belted me in the face. That was that. That was the end of my boxing career. It didn't last long. But talk a little bit about some of the preparation you have to go through for any fight. The dieting, right? You have to eat right. You have to run. You have to do your training. Talk just a little bit about that. We'll go to break. But talk to the audience about some of the preparation you have to go through for every fight.
Honestly, for me personally, the dieting's like the hardest part about training and like everything, because I love eating. Like I love just munching and but yeah, that's honestly just the hardest part, just dieting, like making sure like you take in enough like nutritions, like what you need and stuff, and like just like making weight. And then with like fighting, it's pretty much easy. You just gotta do it, and like it's just like you just gotta breathe, like keep yourself focused and calm.
That's something that's again every fighter has to go through. And you got a great card here. There's some the return of Matthew Diamond Boy Riego, right? Josh Pitbull Torres is on the card. We'll get to all the fights in the second part of our show, but I think it's a great card, and I think a lot of people are going to enjoy really taking a look at it. We're going to take a short break. When we come back, we'll talk more with Nicco Tapia and his trainer, Jayla Ortiz, after these messages on the Sports Desk.
This game was scheduled for 9 a.m. and we rescheduled it to the afternoon. Can Dalton Shilka stay alive? Oh, that one's a little long. And that does it. Game, set, and match in favor of Cameron King.
2-2 pitch. That's well hit. It might be trouble. No. Sliding catch and right by Noah Morluck.
That's a hit past the pitcher. And just like that, we'll have another runner come in. And wow, just like that. La Cueva strikes again as Melania Macias comes in.
Oh, 2. Line to second for the double play. Leadoff base runner erased. He was straying a little far on a line shot to the shortstop long, and he turns and tosses it to Padilla for the double play. What?
So the second serve from Boson is in. Cross-court action going on at this point, and it pays off for Boson.
Make him make a play. There is the bunt, popped it up again. Long run, Cooper, and he's going to make the play. Catchers showing off their leather in this one. I'm out of it. In off the hands, right at Karras. He's going to short hop, scoop that, and turn the double play, maybe. Yes!
Whoa.
Double play! Karras let that one drop, and then a really tough hop. He certainly did that on purpose.
Wow, that's a shot. Wow, that'll do it. Oh my gosh. Man, a shot to center field over the fence for Genesis Jaramillo. And that's it, man, 10-0. Bears with the hot bats right now.
He is bunting. Got it way in on the kitchen there. And a great diving catch by the catcher, Trujillo.
What great play, what great hustle by Trujillo right there.
That's well hit to Cooper. It is high. It is deep. It is showing an in-flight movie. Home run, David Cooper.
Well, I'm going to the frontier, walk up to the cashier, order up a root beer and a number one. Cover it with green stuff, one scoop is not enough. Find a booth is real tough, back by the Duke. Meet my family, meet my friends in the quirkiest restaurant I have ever been. All of Albuquerque's favorite spot, it's the Frontier Restaurant.
The Frontier Restaurant is a proud supporter of ProView Networks. Welcome back to the Sports Stats Live on Comcast Channel 26, also streamed on Facebook. I'm your host, Ed Nunez. Our special guest today is the son of the legendary Johnny Tapia, Nicco Tapia, and his trainer, Jayla Ortiz. Nicco Tapia will take on Logan McMash on Saturday at 140 pounds. And again, Nicco, we talked about that, your second fight. And as a 17-year-old man, I got to say, you're pretty dang relaxed, bro. You're relaxed, you know, and you've got a good demeanor about you, and you're ready to get in there. You got a couple of days left. We're going to have the weigh-ins on Thursday, and again, I got to ask you how you feeling. You mentioned it in the first segment. You're just ready to go. It sounds like.
Yeah, I'm just ready, just counting the days down, preparing, just as each day comes, just getting ready.
Yeah, and that's all really you can do now. I mean, all the it sounds like Jayla, that all the preparation. You got today and Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. You just got a couple of days left to tighten up whatever you need to get done for Saturday. And you mentioned in the first segment that Logan McMash is in some trouble, man.
Yes, he is. These guys are ready. Nicco's ready. He's been ready the past 2 weeks. I've seen it, and I know it's going to be a great day for Nicco and for the whole camp.
It's got to be exciting because I'll tell you, you know what, watching fighters get in the ring, right? And I'm going to go over some of the card here in the main event. It's Josh Pitbull Torres versus Reggie Harris on the 8-round fight there at 147 pounds. And in the co-main event, Matthew Diamond Boy Griego, who's one of Albuquerque's, New Mexico, you mentioned that, Jayla, one of New Mexico's. We haven't seen enough of them, right? Matthew Diamond Boy Griego will take on Gilberto Mendoza at 115 pounds. And if you haven't seen Diamond Boy come in the ring with the New Mexico flag and the Música Nuevo Mexico, that's a show in itself, man. Honestly, I was at the fairgrounds a couple of years ago, and he brings in the New Mexico flag, and he's got Al Hurricane. I mean, that's a show. And, of course, Johnny Tapia, when he walked in the ring, he had a show, too. I never fought, but there has to be some excitement when you go in the ring, Nicco. It has to be some excitement. That adrenaline has to be flowing, man. It really does. Talk a little bit. I want to know this, too, because I don't know if a lot of people know this. What kind of warm-ups do you do before? Because some fighters go in there lathered up, right? They go in there with the sweat a little bit. And what kind of warm-up do you do before you get in the ring?
We just, hit the mitts, do some jump roping, make sure, I'm just loose and not all tight. Because, sometimes you get in the ring and you're all tight, it's it's the worst feeling because you just want to be loose and relaxed, be able to flow with everything.
Have a little bit of a sweat bone, but not too much. You want to be, like you said, you want to be flexible. We've got some pictures that we're going to show you that we were able to get about some really good pictures here about the card on Saturday, and they've got there's your late father right there, and when you see that picture, Nicco, what comes to mind, man, when you see that picture of your late father there?
Wait, hold on. I'm gonna pin it. Okay. Just how he would do that before every fight. He would go and do his prayers and everything. And we have that picture in the gym.
Oh, I bet that's you and your brother?
Me and my cousin.
That's who's fighting on the card as well.
And what's his name?
Ricky.
Ricky Gutierrez versus Jesus Bandra at 118 pounds, 16-year-old division there. And, thanks to our producer Alden Iowani for getting these pictures up. We've got a few more. There's the fight card itself, and that'll be on
Friday.
Friday night, right?
Yes, Friday night.
Friday night. Friday night on June 17th. Right. And I can't really see where's the event again. I'm trying to look. Where's it at? That way we know that we tell the fans.
It's at the office located at Paradise Golf Course.
And that's where
Bar and Grill
card will be at the office at Paradise Golf Course. That's where the weigh-in will be on Thursday. So some great pictures there. I think there's one more there, I believe, of your mom and your dad in the ring there. But if we can get that one up, Alden, I think there's one up there of your mom and your dad, which is a very special picture. Your mom having quite a bit to do with the success of your father for sure. And there was a story your mom told me about Bob Arum, the promoter, right? Was trying to strong arm your dad about an incident or something about not wanting to pay out, right? Not wanting to pay out. Your dad's in the dressing room, and your mom went to Mr. Arum and said, "Okay, if you don't pay, Johnny's not coming out of the dressing room." And that check was written pretty quick after that. And it was a funny story because again, Bob Arum and Don King have been promoters of boxing for how long? Don King is 90 years old, and I think he's still promoting, not as big as he used to back in the day, right? And Bob Arum, they controlled boxing for years. So when your mom started, being your father's manager, she had to fight a lot of that, man. A lot of women don't belong in this business, and I'll tell you what, she's more than held her own as far as where she is now. She's done an amazing job and maybe paved the way for some more future female promoters, which is awesome. We're going to go over some more fights on the card. Maximus Moya versus Carlos Ramirez at 135 pounds. Daniel Gonzalez versus David Espino at 157. And in a bare knuckle fight, Christopher Harzizi versus Terrence Brown at heavyweight. Jayla, maybe you want to talk about bare knuckles, man. I mean, back in the day, John Sullivan and the boxers of how they would square up like this, right? There was no gloves back in the day when John L. Sullivan fought, right? So talk a little bit about that bare knuckle fight, which when I read that, I'm like, man, talk a little bit about that. There's not a lot of it, but there is some.
Yeah, there's not a lot anymore, but it's gonna be exciting. Like we said, it's gonna be an exciting card. There's so much on there. Bare knuckles is like an actual street fight. So I mean, you can't use your legs or anything, but it's all hands. I mean, and when you do have a street fight, it's usually all hands anyways. Well, how it used to be. I mean, up until now, but but it's going to be a good fight. And then we also have another kid that's fighting from the Tapia camp, which is Logan Moody.
Landon
Moody. Sorry, I'm still thinking of his opponent. Sorry, Landon Moody. So that's why I said there's 3 from the Tapia camp coming in, and he came in a little later. He's not on the actual card, but he will be fighting too.
Landon Moody will take on Nick Wiggins at 125 pounds at the 16-year-old age division. Elijah Aragon versus Esteban Garrido at 125 pounds at the 17-year-old limit. We mentioned Jacob Padilla versus Isaiah Montano at 115 pounds. So you know what? We've talked about the card, and Nicco, you're on the undercard, but I'll tell you what, there's some great fights here. There's really going to be some great fights. The last one was at Rio Doso, I believe, last summer, right? Was that the last fight?
It was in November. Yeah, there was 2. They were both in Rio Doso. There was one like in the summer, and then there was one in November.
You know what? We just came through a pandemic, right? And things are starting to kind of open up a little bit. Talk a little bit about how that kind of changed your mom's maybe approach to promoting. She wanted to promote more fights, right? But, you really couldn't for a while. And maybe your approach to training and things that they did have fights. Some of them were empty seaters, right? Nobody could be in the building. They did show some UFC too. They couldn't allow fans in. talk about how that might have changed your approach for at least a little while. You're back, everything's kind of back to normal, although still kind of cautious, right? Talk a little bit about how that might have changed your approach for maybe a year or two, and having to deal with that.
Well, during the beginning of the pandemic, I was weighing 235 pounds. So I had to drop.
Wow.
Yeah. So I basically used the pandemic to just get down weight and just prepare myself for like fighting, because that's like what I wanted to do, and that's still what I want.
So it actually helped him through the pandemic.
That's quite a ways to come down. You mentioned that you liked eating, and that was quite who doesn't? I think a lot of times, I know during the pandemic, I probably put on more weight than I wanted to. I'm trying to change things now. But for a young kid, with not a lot of things to do, you're gonna do that, right? But physically speaking, going into this fight on Saturday against Logan McMash, physically speaking, your condition-wise, how do you feel?
I feel great. I feel better than ever. Like, honestly, like I've never felt this good, and I'm excited to get in that ring. That's
got to make you feel good, Jayla, because again, sometimes training camps, they're long, right? For a fighter who only has one fight, it's anxious time, right? You want to get in there, you want to prove yourself, and it's up to you to kind of pull things back. Like, okay, there's a plan of attack, right? We have a plan of attack, because it's not just, people don't understand. It's not just going in there and right. It's not. You have to be smart about it, right? That's why it's boxing and hitting, moving, sticking, defense, the whole thing. So it's got to make you feel pretty good that your work may have, of course, we won't know till Saturday against Logan McMash, but that Nicco feels as good as he does heading into Saturday night.
Yes, like I said, we worked hard. It was a good training camp. These boys worked really hard. They are young men, should I say now at this point? Not boys no more. They're young men, and they've really worked really hard. They all feel like they all said that they all feel like they've been in the best shape they've been in. So that I'm proud of them. I'm anxious. I'm nervous myself, but I mean, going into it, but I'm really confident for all three boys.
It doesn't say how many rounds. It just on the amateur portion of the fight here is how many rounds is this scheduled for?
It's 3 rounds. They go 3 rounds.
Okay, so yeah, and Nicco, you mentioned that 3 rounds, and boy, I bet you can't wait for the introductions and all the hoopla, man, that comes with it, right? Because you have to be excited about getting a chance to get in there to show your craft, man. And again, it's a Tapia production. Your mom has done a wonderful job, but you for sure. Your mom mentions this. You got, with the name, it comes. There's a picture of that's a great picture, by the way. Great picture. And when you see that, what is that? What do you think when you see your mom and dad together? What a team that they made. What is that? What comes to mind when you see that?
Just like, I don't know, like my mom cared for my dad so much, and like it still shows like how much she did, like, like, and like, I don't know, like it's just like there's so much emotion behind that, like.
Oh yeah, no doubt about it. You know what? We're gonna wrap it up, and Nicco Tapia and Jayla Ortiz, we sure appreciate you joining us today. Jayla, tell us one more time about where the fight's at. So Friday night, June 17th. This Friday night. Tell us again where the location is.
It's at the office at the Paradise Hills Golf Course. 6 p.m. The fights will be starting. So everyone get out there.
First bell's at 6 p.m.
First bell's at 6 p.m. So everybody get out there. There's going to be some really good fights. And you have Nicco here, Tapia's son, that's going to kick some butt that night. And it's going to be an awesome fight. Like I said, this guy has a beautiful style. So get out there and watch us.
Plenty of tickets still available.
I don't know if there's plenty, but you better get on it.
Still some tickets left.
There's some, but I couldn't tell you how long they're gonna last. So get on it, and everybody get out there, and I thank you guys for the interview, and I thank Teresa for the opportunity of allowing me to train her son and trusting that. And she is an awesome woman, and she's done a lot for New Mexico as well.
No question about it. Jayla Ortiz, Nicco Tapia, we wish you the best of luck against Logan McMash on Saturday night, 3-round bout in the 140-pound division, 17 years of age. We wish you all the luck.
Thank you.
Thank you.
You bet. For producer Alden Iwani, I'm Ed Nunez. We'll see you next week on the Sports Desk.